Hello, I'm Sydney,
And I'm Melanie.
and this is Drawntaneous.
Hey, we're back. It's been a while since we've sat down in these chairs and recorded an episode.
A lot has happened since then.
Been like, what, 3 or 4 months?
Oh, yeah.
We have some new recording techniques we're trying out. We're experimenting with video format. I know the episodes aren't live yet, but I know Sydney put in some audio in the background. I don't know how that sounds. So hopefully it sounds good.
It definitely needs some tweaking from what I listened to, but I'm also too stubborn to go back and change it.
Yeah, we're kind of at this point being like, you know what? Let's just forge ahead. So if you have an opinion, feel free to let us know. We want to provide the best listening experience for our viewers and friends. But should we get to it?
Yeah, let's,
I forget how we transition into these different things.
Don't worry about it.
Okay, cool. Let's go with what our topic is for the day.
Yep.
We are having you draw a lawful neutral. Wait, yeah, that's how you say that word. Lawful neutral half-elf warlock.
Lawful neutral half-elf warlock.
That's a lot of words.
That sounds fun.
Oh my goodness. I was just so Sydney has programmed this automatic generator, so you're not going to hear me rolling dice anymore. I'm not going to Vanna White it for us anymore. But it is very fast, very quick, and I just tapped a couple of times. I'm like, oh, I personally like this prompt, so I'm going to make Sydney draw it.
That's perfectly fine. Lawful neutral.
Half-elf warlock. You need to make notes.
You know me, I'm gonna forget everything.
Are you also going to do their patron or just the half-elf?
I'll do their patron too.
That'll be fun.
We'll see how time treats me.
I don't remember what I'm supposed to do for these episodes anymore. It's been
You bring up our
forever.
topic for us to discuss.
I do, and I'm supposed to try and keep the conversation moving forward. We'll see how well I do this today, because I had a very long workout this morning, and I can't feel my arms. I'm so tired.
Fortunately, you don't need your arms to talk.
I don't need to do anything but talk and look at my cell phone for the topics that I have. So I think we'll start easy topic-wise as we ease back into recording these things and talk about, so both me and Sydney are A, born in different parts of the world, and B, have different, well, obviously different hometowns because we were born in different parts of the world, but we also grew up on different coasts.
Oh, yeah.
We grew up in very different environments, and then we moved in together in the delightful Pacific Northwest.
Oh, yeah.
So, the question I have for you, Sydney,
That's
for
me.
both of us, is what do you miss about your hometown, and what do you love about Seattle, which is where we are currently, in beautiful Seattle?
Well...
How about we start with things we miss, and then we'll go with things we love.
So,
Make it easy.
I don't miss where I spent my, junior high and high school years in the Poconos. I don't miss that at all, so I'm gonna count Philadelphia.
Yeah,
as
I was
what
gonna say,
miss.
why don't we do a quick rundown of, where you have existed in the world?
That's long.
Yeah, well, it might be interesting.
I'll-
Just, country, well, no, countries is pretty short.
I'll give the short of it.
Yeah.
I was born in England. I only spent 2 years there. I spent my youngest years in the Deep South and my puberty years in Northeast Pennsylvania.
And then you moved to Philadelphia.
And then when I graduated high school, I immediately moved to Philly.
And then we met online while you were in Philadelphia.
Yep, well, I was dropping out of college.
And then, fast forward several years, you moved out to California.
Yeah, that was a culture shock.
And then, after a couple months, half a year, I think, you led
It wasn't
the
even half a
charge.
year.
Oh
It
my
was
goodness, really?
It was May to August, so it was
Oh my God.
3 months, because I wasn't even there that long.
Oof. Yeah, so you're living with us as in me and my family, for just a couple months, and then you led the charge and settled in Seattle while I stayed behind, made money, and then followed at a later date.
Yes.
Yeah, you've been to a lot more places. You've lived in a lot more places than I have.
Yeah.
I was born in Chicago, and then I spent, I think, about No, not even 10 years. I think it was like about 8 years I was in Chicago. Or not in the city proper, but general Chicago and suburbs area. And then my family moved to San Diego, where I spent the rest of my childhood and a large portion of my early adulthood, I would say. And then I did...
Definitely, because you, like, finished college in California.
I finished college in California, but I had my 2 years of university in Santa Cruz, which is the kind of Bay Area, not quite Bay Area. I don't know what is... It's not Central California either. You wouldn't call it Central. North Cal. NorCal is where I finished school, and then moved back to San Diego for about a year, and then that was when you moved out with us, and then we planned to move to Seattle. So I did far less moving around than you did.
Yeah. Well, a lot of it wasn't my choice.
Yeah, because your parents were in the military, if I remember correctly.
Well, by the time I was born, both of them retired. So, the reason we moved around was just because, like, my dad got bumped around jobs all the time. Because he worked in biomechanics. Like, so pretty much, like, if you go into a hospital and you see the heart monitor, my dad's old job was, like, to make sure it worked. Pretty much.
Oh, so there was a lot of traveling, because obviously you don't need a bunch of people in one place doing that. You just train one person to do it, and they bump around.
And he was definitely, like, working his way up the ranks. Like, the whole point was, like, that he was trying to build a better life, a life for us. Unfortunately, it didn't quite work out for personal reasons.
And we don't need to touch on that.
Yeah.
But we don't need to go into the dirty
pretty
dungeons
much,
of
like,
your history.
when my parents split, we moved to Northeast Pennsylvania because that's where my mom's family was.
Yep.
And I did a lot of traveling, like, not just moving, but, like, I also was fortunate enough to, like, get to go to Ireland because my grandma lives there, and I did missionary work, which isn't what it sounds like. Yes, it was part of a church, but, like, it was honestly... We just went and fixed people's houses. Not one bit of our energy was ever spent converting anyone. We were just like, we are here to fix up your trailer so you can survive the winter. And we're like 12.
Fun. Neat.
Yeah.
So, for the most part, you spent your life on the East Coast. I, for the most part, spent my life on the West Coast. So, tell me things that you miss about the East Coast that doesn't happen here.
A decent cheesesteak, for one thing.
Well, yeah. I mean, you leave Philadelphia and then you don't get a decent cheesesteak.
Yeah.
Unless you yourself make it.
Yeah, or I make my brother make it whenever he visits me.
He made us a mean cheesesteak
And
when he came and visited.
It's interesting because, like, he's now vegetarian, and he made himself a vegetarian cheesesteak using jackfruit, and that was very clever.
I kind of wish I had tried it, but I was like, I really like this cheesesteak you made me.
You wanted the meat.
I wanted the meat. I love meat.
That's
Meat's
fair.
delicious. What else? What else, Sydney? Well, you were part of a cartoonist society back in Philadelphia.
Yeah, after I dropped out of college, one of my professors was like, hey, you're not my student anymore. You want to join the Philadelphia Cartoonist Society? And I was like, fuck yeah.
And we have yet to find something similar for you out here, but I'm sure there's something.
We'll figure something out.
Yeah. Anything else that you can think of?
I mostly just miss, like, my friends that I left behind. Like, they had a big going away party for me when I moved away, and I miss them all just because, like, I made some really wonderful friends in college.
Well,
like, I may have hated going to college, but, like, I will never regret the friendships I made there.
And some of them are making their way out to the West Coast, which has been very nice for you.
Oh, yeah, like, one of my childhood friends from youth group, they moved out west recently. My mother moved out west. My brother's thinking about it, but he's also...
Hey, Travis, you should move out west.
Yeah, Travis, move out west. But it's also, like, he has a crusade to save Philadelphia.
You know, he's got to do what he's got to do.
Yeah.
But move out west, seriously.
Yeah, please.
Let's see. So that about wraps it up for you, I guess. As for me, probably the thing I miss most about living in Southern California is the fact that there are beaches accessible. Like, and not just, oh, I can be by the water and listen to the waves, but like beaches you can actually walk through the sand barefoot and like swim in because the water is a like decent temperature around 60 to 70 degrees.
Yeah, you can't do that.
You can't do that up here. I mean, the water temperature was bad down in Northern California. Like, I thought that was cold. I haven't been in the water up here, so I can't even imagine what the temperature would be like in the ocean proper.
If you had testicles, they would, like, vanish.
They would just suck up into your body and never return.
They would pretty much just, like, cease to exist.
Oh, gosh.
That's how cold it gets.
See, that sounds terrible to me because I hate being cold, so I'm just like, I don't think I would ever go into the ocean here. Like, we're on the Sound, but you wouldn't swim in the Sound. That's where all the ships and all the gross stuff are.
And sea lions.
Yeah, maybe one of these days we'll be able to go to a lake, and I can maybe swim in a lake, but even those can be pretty cold, depending. But yeah. Oh, and the sand at the beaches here.
What sand? It's all rocks. Don't
recommend it. Yeah, it's super rocky or there's sand, but there's a lot of debris in it. And we got married at Golden Garden State Park. And when we went scouting, I was watching all these people walking along the beach with their shoes on, with their sneakers on. I'm like, what are you doing? Why are you doing this? And then like, I think I took off my sneakers because I didn't want to get sand in them. And then I walked maybe a few feet and quickly realized, oh, I see why you're walking with shoes on in the sand here. Because there's like charcoal and like bits of firewood strewn about. There might be a broken bottle in there. Definitely some nails.
Driftwood too.
Driftwood, rocks. Like, this is not the nice sandy beaches of the Pacific Ocean that I am accustomed to. So that was a bit of a shock for me. So I do definitely miss the beaches down in San Diego. And when I go back, I will make the most of my time down there. Hilariously, when I lived in San Diego, I didn't go to the beach that often, except for during the summer. And it was like, obligatory, go to the beach. Or I remember it was a big thing during high school that at the end of each school year, you would go to the beach, build a bonfire with your classmates, and then throw all of your homework into the bonfire.
Amazing.
I don't know if that's a common thing, but specifically my class did it. And it was a huge thing at the end of senior year. That was like the biggest gathering / bonfire beach party we had. Just because, yeah, it's senior year. You don't need that stuff anymore.
Yeah, fuck it.
Ugh. Why am I getting stuffy? My allergies have been weird recently. I never really noticed my allergies down in San Diego. That is one thing I miss, is just not being so sneezy all the time. But it's more humid here, so that means I'm not constantly getting nosebleeds.
Exactly.
And I don't have constant low-grade headaches the entire time. So, it's a trade-off. I do much prefer the more temperate weather up here. It's getting hot down in San Diego.
It's really funny though when it like drops like to 60 and you're like, my god, it's so cold, and my East Coast ass is like, are you kidding me? It's beautiful right now.
I'm slowly getting to the point where I'm like, it's 63. I can wear shorts to work this morning, and then it'll go up to like 70 or something later in the day. So that's slowly changing. I'm not as much of a weenie with the temperature as I was before. I am still a weenie about the temperature though.
Yes, you are.
Alright, so those were things. Oh, no, another thing I miss. Produce that doesn't go bad in a week. Oh my goodness.
See, I'm used to that.
I'm not. Like, we would get produce in San Diego, and it would last us a good 2 weeks or so. Everything seems a little fresher down there. Like, I didn't realize it was a thing until I moved away. And then I went, wow, why is my lettuce gross after 2 days? What the heck? So, that is something I'm still adjusting to and still fighting with, because I am the primary chef in this relationship. And it kills me when I waste food. that hurts so much when I have to throw something away because I didn't use it fast enough. So it's a matter of learning how to plan appropriately for my meals for the week and like figuring out what fruits and veg go bad quickly up here. I really like what you're doing with the hat.
Hats are hard.
I enjoy this warlock. Oh, this is fun.
I'm glad that you enjoy them.
It's so swishy.
Well, I mean, when you're patrons of Fae, you have to be all sparkle and pizzazz.
I love it. Oh my gosh. Like, you need to make this person a character. They are delightful. This is our second D&D inspired, fantasy inspired draw on this show. What are we gonna do with all these characters you generate? We have to like give them backstories and like
Handsome Orc,
flesh them out. Yeah. Oh my goodness, Handsome Orc is delightful. What if they're all just part of the same party?
Sure.
They all go drinking together. Maybe they aren't necessarily like co-workers, but they definitely go drinking together.
They're in the same adventurers guild.
I love them. So beautiful. All right. I think there's a second part to my question here. Let's look. What do you love about our new home, Seattle? So we've got through the stuff we miss. How about the things we love about this new place?
See, I lived near the water before, but like it was gross water, so like living in Seattle is kind of like fulfilling my Kiki's Delivery Service dream of living in a city on waves. Because it's very picturesque here.
It is very beautiful here when the sun is out.
So I'm used to overcast weather, so like that doesn't bother me. I still think it's very pretty, especially like when
like there's trees and everything's green here. I forgot that.
Yeah.
In California, everything is brown or like ash, unless it happens to be immediately after a rain. And then you get some green wildflowers popping up along the hillsides.
Yeah.
It's actually green up here. Oh my gosh. I'm sorry, I cut you off.
Oh, but yeah, like I like the picturesque, like the mountains here because like, you know, back east, like mountains are like covered in trees and they're just kind of like mounds. But like here, they're like straight up like picturesque, like holy shit, that's a mountain.
Would you say the mountains are different up here than they are down in SoCal? I mean, they're different mountains, obviously, but...
Well, yeah, like I said, they're the more picturesque ones, because, like, it's...
Well, they actually have snow on them.
Yeah, well, they're snow-capped, but also they're peaks. So, like, they look the way I expect a mountain to look.
Yeah, the mountains down in SoCal don't quite peak the way that they do up here. It's probably something to do with the Platonic shelf and whatever.
Yeah, let's not.
I could look it up. It's probably very interesting.
Let's not discuss all the volcanoes in our area.
Can we touch on that real quick? Oh my
Sure.
goodness. So, Sydney did not know what the Ring of Fire was when she moved out.
I thought it was in the ocean.
It's not. I'm so sorry. We ended up going to the Natural History Museum up here. And she was like, oh, what's this? The Ring of Fire. And then she saw the picture and exactly where the Ring of Fire cuts through and realized that we are literally on top of it. Sorry.
I wasn't super happy
Sydney
about
is
that.
not happy that we live near volcanoes.
Yeah, so I have 3 irrational fears. Zombies, fuck, what's the other one?
Zombies, volcanoes.
Maybe it was just zombies and volcanoes. Maybe it was just 2
Drowning in a
irrational
car.
fears. Oh, drowning in a car. That's my 3rd one. That's not irrational though. That's a thing that can actually happen.
Yeah. So, but irrational. You said, I think, one time that your worst fear would be a volcano that erupts and explodes zombies.
Yeah, that's
It's like the ultimate pinnacle of
everything
of that.
I'm terrified of. Yeah.
So
yeah, when I found out that, like, specifically Mount Rainier is an active volcano, and I was like, it's a what?
And then weren't you driving somewhere down further south, and you're like, oh, what's that mountain? It's Mount Everest. Or wait, no.
No, Mount St. Helens.
Mount St. Helens, I'm sorry. I don't...
Yeah, it
mountains.
It was Mount St. Helens. Because I fell asleep in the car.
Where is Everest? I feel like that's not on our
I
continent.
think that's like the Himalayas.
I
It's
think so,
not
too.
our continent.
Sorry.
It absolutely is not.
I'm
You see, I watch a lot
tired.
of like nature
You do.
documentaries, so like
I just, at least I didn't say like something like Kilimanjaro. I knew that Kilimanjaro would be wrong.
that would have been super wrong.
That would have been very wrong. Everest is a very white-sounding name, so I just assumed that that was one, but no.
So one of my favorite webcomics ever had a character named Eve Ning, and her full name was Everest, and her brother's name was Rushmore.
Delightful. I love that.
Yeah.
It's so
If you
good.
ever get the chance to read Octopus Pie, you absolutely should. That's some good East Coast humor, because it takes place in New York, as all things do.
I'm worried I won't catch the humor.
That's no, like... So I would get the East Coast humor, which is, like, just shit about living in, like, super urban cities. Because, like, Seattle's not super urban. I mean, granted, neither is Philadelphia.
What would you... Yeah, so Seattle doesn't strike me as a typical city. Of course, San Diego is not a model city. Like, I think more of LA.
I wouldn't call San Diego a city at all.
No. I would say Los Angeles is, like, the closest to an
yeah.
actual urban city that I've been to.
Yeah, Los Angeles is a city.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
also thought I was dying the first time I went to LA.
You did. I'm sorry. The smog is very bad down there. I'm so sorry.
Well, our hotel also had bed bugs,
Yep.
so like I thought
you thought you were just getting all of the bad
I thought
allergic reactions.
Yeah, I thought I was going into anaphylactic shock.
Oh, you poor thing. You poor anxious thing.
Yep.
But yeah, Seattle doesn't feel like any city I've been to. Well, except it kind of feels like Vancouver, honestly.
Well,
They're both very much of the same brand.
it's there's pretty much the same city across two borders. Across a border.
It's
I
just very.
suppose.
There's a lot of tourists here. There's a lot of. I don't know. I don't know how else to describe it. It's definitely a little cleaner than LA, but I don't know if that's necessarily a good thing. That might just be indicative of people not living here.
Yeah, and even so, like, it absolutely has its filth problems because
Yeah, it
of
does.
the homeless population,
Yeah.
which, you know, that is what it is.
Yep.
I'm not super shocked.
We totally went off on a tangent. I don't even remember what we were
We're talking about shit we like about Seattle.
Oh, that's right. Well, it's pretty.
It's not
It's good
a
culture.
regular city like New York, so like
Yeah.
I actually enjoy that immensely because I would die of claustrophobia in New York City.
For me specifically, there's a good amount of cultural diversity, which makes me feel comfortable. Because even though San Diego was kind of strange in a lot of ways, like it's a conservative town because it's largely military, but you have a lot of diversity down there for some reason, which I actually never looked into, but I took it for granted that I had a lot of Indian classmates, I had a lot of black classmates, I had a lot of other Asian classmates. So it's always very strange when I end up going somewhere where that isn't normal. Like, I definitely feel like I stand out.
I mean, I'm a white person, but like when I moved to San Diego from Philadelphia, I did actually kind of be like, what is wrong with this place? I don't get it. And Travis is like, there's like no black people. I was like,
Yeah,
that's what it is.
We definitely don't have as many black people as Philadelphia does.
And definitely not in Seattle either. That's taken.
You know what I realized?
Seattle is, I would say, is far more Asian.
Yeah. Oh no, it definitely is. Definitely a lot of Asian people here.
And not just East Asian, like all over
all
Asia.
Asian. Literally, like, everyone's represented here, from Asia at least.
Oh yeah.
But I was thinking specifically back in San Diego, my black classmates were all like Jamaican or something. So not even like African American.
Jamaican American.
Yep. I feel like I had a couple, and I don't remember where all their families were from. Most of them were like, their parents immigrated though. Ooh, I like what you have going on there.
The Fae does not wear clothes except for a scarf.
Amazing. I like the very tactful censorship
yes.
then. You know what I just realized? We didn't set a timer, so we have no idea how long we've been recording. Or do we?
25 minutes. So
Oh, cool. We
I'm
should be wrapping up then. Sorry, guys. This is going to be a longer episode.
Well, I mean, I'm going to cut down the beginning, but anyway, I would
Well,
say...
let's talk through what we have going on here. Let's do a little debriefing like we normally do.
I didn't really come up with a name or anything. It's just a plucky warlock with a fae patron, and they're just very flashy, very fairy fire.
I love them.
I have a
both.
tendency to make my warlocks bards.
I love them both.
I'm
I
glad.
hope you finish this to some extent. Like, I would like to see this maybe in color or something.
Sure.
Looks fun.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of Drawntaneous, and we will see you in the next one.
See ya!
Hey everyone, it's Melanie. Thank you for listening to this episode of Drawntaneous. If you liked what you saw, give us a thumbs up and subscribe for more. If you have suggestions for future topics, feel free to share them in the comments section below. You can find more of Sydney's art on Twitter and Instagram at CCLunaArt, and you can support her on Patreon and Ko-fi at CCLuna.